The morgue attendant is drinking alcohol while on the job. When he returned, the body had changed position. The man felt a moment of fear, but seeing the bottle of alcohol beside him, he thought he was just a bit dazed from a sip. However, when he turned back again, thinking he was mistaken due to being drunk, he covered the corpse's eyes with a cloth. Suddenly, the tablet turned on, displaying a comic where he was the main character. The content was a story he never wanted anyone to know about. Not long ago, his wife had fallen seriously ill. Since his wife fell ill, he had cared for her for 5 years until she died. At the funeral, seeing his wife still seemingly alive, which he didn't want, he sent everyone away and then stuffed food into her mouth before killing her.
집안 나 좀 살자. 나 좀 살자.
Before dying, her eye leaked blood, and the comic ended. After reading the story, he was extremely panicked and packed his belongings to leave, but was stopped by the corpse. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind blew through, causing the door to slam shut. Despite his screams, blood began to pour out from the cabinets behind him. The light bulb also began to flicker continuously. Suddenly, one of the cabinet doors burst open. Not knowing where he found the courage, he approached the cabinet door, but saw nothing inside. Suddenly, something began approaching him quickly. When he woke up, he found himself inside the cabinet. A corpse wrapped in bandages was crawling up from below, immediately using the bandages to try to strangle him. The cabinet door suddenly opened, and the girl saw him strangling himself. She had found her way here thanks to the clues from the comic. Ji-yoon is a horror comic artist. Her comic is like * Death Note *, but with illustrations. After downloading the manuscript, the editor made a cup of coffee. When she returned, she saw the screen displaying a drawing that looked just like her. Even her thoughts were being illustrated. Curious, she continued to read the next pages, and the story gradually unfolded. As a student, she was a beautiful girl. One day, a boy was confessing his feelings to her when suddenly a woman with a disfigured face appeared. She was the girl's mother. Because of her mother's terrifying face, she gradually became shunned by others, and she grew to resent her mother. Overwhelmed by her daughter's diary, the mother committed suicide. Despite having a chance to save her, the girl chose to abandon her.
엄마, 죽어줘. 제발.
After reading the section of the story, she immediately called Ji-yoon, demanding to know how she knew about her past. The lights in the room suddenly went out, and the curtains were automatically drawn. Terrified, she took out a knife to defend herself and was shocked to see the same scene depicted in the comic. As if driven mad, she fled, but the door was locked tight. Suddenly, she heard a whisper in her ear and, soon after, ended her own life with the knife in her hand. The police initially ruled it a suicide, but after seeing the scene and the comic's eerie similarity, they suspected Ji-yoon. While Ji-yoon was driving home, she almost hit a girl who then disappeared. Confused, Ji-yoon suddenly heard the girl knocking on her car door, asking for a ride. The girl told Ji-yoon her name was Mi-jin, she was 16, and her home was at the pig farm up ahead.
거짓말. 한 10살 정도로밖에 안 돼 보이는데.
그때 죽었으니까.
After getting out of the car to calm down and prepare to drive away, she witnessed a horrifying scene. But it turned out to be all a dream. She immediately went back home. Later, the police arrived and informed her about the editor's death. Initially thought it was a coincidence, but she discovered similar deaths happened with each story release. And the latest story is about a morgue worker, and she found a way to save him. Even though he escaped, his wife seemed intent on not forgiving him, so he broke his own neck in front of Ji-yoon. The police arrived just then and saw Ji-yoon next to the morgue worker's body. She was questioned at the police station, but she was also very confused about what happened.
그냥 뺏겼다고.
Ji-yoon, running out of ideas during her collaboration with the famous publisher, received a strange email with compelling stories and plagiarized them. The police contacted investigators, who found the address that sent the email to Ji-yoon. Indeed, they also discovered similar illustrations there. Residents said the drawings were made by a girl possessed by a demon. Coincidentally, Ji-yoon had also lived in that house and, moreover, she lived with this mysterious girl. The orphan girl often drew creepy pictures on the walls. Strangely, the drawings were all about the local residents, And even more frightening, what she drew came true. This led them to believe that the girl was a demon haunting them. They then decided to set fire to the entire room where the two girls lived. After that, the mysterious girl also vanished. In the old apartment, the police officer with Ji-yoon found surveillance equipment and documents related to horror comics. With this evidence, the police concluded that the mysterious girl was the culprit. At that moment, Ji-yoon received a message from the mysterious girl. While the police were not paying attention, Ji-yoon stole a car and went to meet her. The police officer's partner was impersonating the mysterious girl and sending the messages to Ji-yoon. It turned out that his dark past had also been depicted in the comics. He had once hit a girl with his car and left her to die, so he was afraid of being exposed. Believing that Ji-yoon had discovered the truth and would use the comics to expose him, he wanted to kill Ji-yoon to eliminate the evidence. But when he acted, strange phenomena suddenly occurred. Surprisingly, the person he ended up killing was the girl who had asked Ji-yoon for a ride. Grieving over his partner's death, he suddenly realized something and left immediately. When he returned to the room, Ji-yoon was there and she told him a story. It turned out that the mysterious girl was Seo Han, the daughter of the morgue worker. After her mother died, she often visited her father at work, where she heard stories from the ghosts and drew them. Ji-yoon, driven by greed, stole these stories and submitted them to the publisher. Upon discovering this, Seo Han burned all her drawings, stating that they were stories of vengeful spirits and should not be exploited. Ji-yoon was also the one who had killed Seo Han. Since then, she became the one who listened to the vengeful spirits and illustrated their stories. The police said he would represent justice to bring her to account. What he didn't expect was that his crimes had also been depicted on the wall in front of him. It turned out that when he arrived at the scene, he had managed to save his colleague. However, out of anger at his colleague's cowardice, he decided to teach him a lesson. Unexpectedly, the gun went off accidentally, killing his colleague. In fear and panic, he staged the scene as a suicide to escape responsibility. He planned to kill Ji-yoon to silence her, but his colleague's ghost made him aim the gun at his own head and pull the trigger.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you can see more interesting content in the future.